Yo, yo, yo. We got Perfecto. We got Dylan in the chat. What's poppin'? Sub Castro. What's going on, Dylan? The streets here. The streets are filing in. Every time I try to watch this ninja, he's away from the keyboard. Shout out Tux for the dono. Thank you, homie. Thank you for the dono. So we got a decent stream. We got a decent stream. I'm expecting a call at 9 p.m. though, so I'll probably step away in like 30 minutes just to answer this call, and then I'll come right back on stream. I'm sure you guys won't mind that, but I'll just let you guys know that to start. What up, Jew? I see Jew in the chat. What's poppin', homie? Hopefully you didn't wait up for me last night, Jew, to go live. If you were streaming with me last night, you know. I was going to try to do a third stream. Tony Sal says, I seen Wyatt with like 20 viewers. Bro is a clown. Bro's a straight clown. I mean, you guys probably want me to talk about that, huh? Who was in the stream last night? Wyatt came in trying to talk shit. I mean, if you guys could tell, I could have cared less. It's like, bro, we're not even in competition. I'm in a different stratosphere than you. What up, Castro? What up, James? What up, homie? I mind. Sorry, Tux. Give me a couple minutes at 9 p.m. Let me answer a phone call. Let me pull up. Yeah, Tony Sal, how funny is it too when Fight Society came in to try to troll me? I haven't checked the numbers because I told you guys I will not give him a dub. And I think that's why he came in here, because he knows I was insulting him recently, probably. And it's like, it's getting to him. It's like, bro, you're a fucking clown. You're a fucking clown, number one. Number two, you still can't get a dub on me. And the only dub you think you could have got is that, like, you had more people in your live stream for the UFC Houston fight companion. That's the only flex he got on me. It's crazy. It's like the goofiest, weirdest thing ever. It's literally the goofiest, weirdest thing ever. Honestly, my honest, genuine take is the guy's like a weirdo. He's low-key kind of like a goofball weirdo. Like, I don't got no respect for him. I think he's a goofball. I think he's a weirdo. Like, genuinely, I think he's kind of a weirdo. It's also kind of weird that he's trying to he's trying to be in competition and say that he's better than me, right? That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to be like, oh, I'm better than you. I got more viewers in my live stream. Bro, what is your deal with that? When have I once said, so to speak, that I'm better than you? You know, I let the results do the talking. You know, you made a video on news that I reported, right? I told you go make another video because I got another viral clip that I just posted with Joaquin Buckley. So, like, you know, I'm just letting the work do the talking. And homie wants to, like, try to insinuate, you know, he better than me and shit like that. You're not better than me, homie. You're not better than me at all. In fact, it's kind of goofy that you're even trying to do that. So the only kind of dub he could get is that, oh, I had more viewers than you in this live stream. It's like, oh God, okay. And I have so many more things over you that's not even worth mentioning. So that's why it's stupid for you to even come in here and try to flex your numbers in the first place. So that's pretty much my response to him. You know, like what are we gonna do in this weird goofy ass back and forth? And I'm 90% sure I mogged him on that Ryan Garcia Barrios stream. Pretty sure I mogged his ass in the numbers. 77K on that live stream, 1K concurrent. Did he touch anything close to that for the UFC Houston? I don't think so. I don't think he touched anything close to 1K concurrent. All right, I had 1K concurrent. That's the stat that says it all. I had 1K concurrent. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to go double check his stats to see how many views he got off UFC Houston. But I know I mogged him for sure. Pound for pound, with those 2 streams, I mogged him. So that's the karmic retribution. You come in, you hate, boom, boom. My next stream, I literally destroy you. How funny is that? Serves you right, homie. Like I've said before, you know, I think I'm blessed by God, and I don't even know if he's a godly man. So you don't want to be messing with me. Let's just put it like that. Juice says, I watched 2 videos of his last week, but after he came in here and talked shit like he was on a high horse fucking for life. That's what I'm talking about with that high horse stuff. It's kind of goofy. It's really kind of goofy. Really kind of goofy. Like, what are you doing? Do you have any other, like, arguments aside from, like, I got more viewers than you? It's the weirdest thing ever. Haha, sounds like I got here at the right time. I mean, it's pretty much over with now. But I figured I would address that for the chat. LMAO for real. Yeah, and then he did something weird too when he was in here. This is what I'm saying, he's a weirdo. This is one of the main weirdo things he did. Was he came in here and he's like trying to flex on me that he has more concurrent viewers for the UFC Houston, which is so goofy. It's honestly so goofy. But aside from that goofy madness, he then does this other thing where he uses that point to validate, and he's like, see, and you told me I'm a nobody, like who am I now, or something goofy like that. Like, he's basically saying, like, you said I'm a nobody and like I have more viewers than you in this live stream. It's like, bro, how many live streams did you wait to happen to finally get one where you had more viewers than me? Number 1. And number 2, I never said that he's a nobody. I never said he's a nobody. That's why I think he's goofy, bro. He's the one who tried to insinuate I was a nobody at the end of the day. That's how this all started, because he tried to insinuate I was a nobody because he's jealous. And this is why I also think he's goofy and a weirdo, because it all started because of that reason right there. He tried to insinuate, why would Nick Diaz talk to this guy? He's a nobody. Now this guy comes to my stream being like, you called me a nobody. I didn't call you a nobody, homie. That's why I'm mad at you, you dip fuck. Don't steal my reason for being mad here. You a clown. This is like 5th grader level shit right here. Trying to steal my argument. You feel me? As to why I'm mad at you. Now you're mad at me for the same thing, which I didn't even do. That's what I'm saying, guys. He's literally goofy and weird. Goofy and weird. He was probably botting his viewers to beat you. I mean, I wouldn't know because I never give him the time of day, you know, and I don't care to. But, you know, there's a good chance of that. There's definitely a good chance of that. And also, the last reason why I think he's a goofy weirdo and why I think he popped into the stream is because, once again, he sees me getting reposted by Champ Rounds. He sees me getting reposted by Home of Fight. He sees me collabing with Joaquin. You feel me? He sees all this stuff. He's like, damn, this guy's popping. He got motion. Oh, damn, now he's popping it at me, telling me go make a video off the content he just created. You feel me? So, of course, he's butthurt. Of course, he's still jealous. It's fuming. It's fuming in him. And so he just had to come in here and pop his shit. I mean, good on him. Whatever you want to say, good on you, homie. Yeah, you had more numbers than me in the UFC Houston live stream. Big whoop. That's the gayest shit I ever heard. That's the gayest flex I ever heard. And that's the most desperate attempt at getting a dub over me I ever seen in my life. And to conclude that, the literal next stream I did, the Ryan Garcia Mario Barrio stream, I broke 1K concurrent. We ran 77K. All right, in under 2 hours, we ran 77K in that stream. It's just hilarious to me. Like, it's just hilarious to me. Even if he got a dub on me, bro, I took it away from him within like 30 minutes. Within like 30 minutes, I took it away. So yeah, homie really a goofball, and I feel like all that needed to be said. You know, the jealousy is very apparent. So, aside from that, What's poppin', Otto? I hope everybody's having a great one out there, and I hope you too, man. I hope you're having a great one out there, because I know I am. Shit, I'm having a good one, homie. I'm having a good one. I'm locked in. I'm locked in. That's for damn sure. So I'm having a good one. Yeah, shout out Tux for the donos again. So, kind of going into what we'll be discussing today. Now that I got that off my chest, wasn't sure whether I was going to speak about that or not, but since you guys mentioned it right off the bat, I figured might as well. But I mean, once again, 11.1K likes. Now we're at 2,000, nearly 2,000 comments. 373,000. We're about to break 400,000 people who saw this. This is just on Instagram. Let alone the 500,000 people that saw this shit on Twitter. That's why, once again, to be like trying to flex your views or something, it's the gayest shit ever. It's literally the gayest shit ever. You could flex it on your own channel. You could flex it to your viewers, like how I flex to my viewers, how I let you guys know we got motion over here. That's one thing. But to try to actually act like you got one up on somebody because you got more views on a video, it's literally the gayest shit I ever seen in my life. Numbers don't lie, Wyatt. I mean, they do and they don't. They do and they don't. Just depends whose numbers. Depends whose numbers, Tony Sal. It depends the type of gimmick you run. And I guess with that being said, homie's numbers lie. My numbers don't lie. Okay, so getting into the topics of the day, I think the main topic is Sean Strickland getting censored in real time for calling out Aspen Ladd's husband, who happens to be Anthony Fluffy Hernandez's coach, Jim West. So this is a big topic. This is a groundbreaking event that just took place. The first censored athlete in UFC history, to my knowledge, is Sean Strickland. They cut off his mics as soon as he wrapped up speaking about Aspen Ladd getting groomed by Jim West when she was 14 years old, training at his gym, and he was 30-something. Then he said some other, slur or, insult towards Hamzat, and they cut off his mic. Now, the people who were attending that media day or the post-fight press conference, they released the footage of when they cut off the mic, what Sean said afterwards. So we can play that for you as well. But yeah, that's the story about this Jim West guy. Sean was essentially saying, usually before fights, I got to get hyped up. I find a reason to kind of get hyped up before a fight. This was my reason. I found it. I was trying to figure out how am I going to get hyped up. I'm looking at Fluffy. I'm not really feeling any crazy animosity. I peep over. I see his coach, Jim West, and I just flip the switch. I lost my shit. I was ready from then on out. I was locked in. I will not let this guy, Jim West, get a dub on me. So that's what happened there. And then it just went completely left because he started explaining why Jim West couldn't get a win over him. And it happened to be because he was grooming a 14-year-old who he's now married to, allegedly. Allegedly. Brendan Allen says, I agree with Strickland on this, but no matter what, man, Jim can't fight, so all he will do is talk. And what does that even mean? Who will talk? Jim will talk? Or Sean Strickland shouldn't say it because Jim can't fight. No, Sean should say it. I think Sean should definitely be revealing things like that. And I think it's kind of weak that of all the things Sean said, this is what they censored. I mean, I guess, the whole Bad Bunny stuff, they reached a boiling point and they were on their toes. If this happens again, we're going to nip it in the butt. So maybe it's not so much about what he was saying, but, this is totally fine, in my opinion. I mean, we need to know. We need to save the children. We need to protect the children at all costs. And if there's a coach who got some sus activities going on, I think we should be known about that. I think that should be made known public. So we'll listen to this one. Couple other things on the day. I mean, right off the back, I mean, oh, well, number two, Dana going off on the media, kinda. He just kind of like giving him a hard time a little bit because he's like, you guys are the ones who get Strickland to say these things. And I mean, I guess Dana didn't watch the media day and he just made assumptions because he kind of looks like an asshole here. Because the media is not who baited Strickland into saying that stuff. Strickland said all that stuff on his own. So we'll look at this one too. But the other big thing, in my opinion, is Dana White confirming he wanted Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano on the UFC White House, and they were talking about it since last year. Now, as I'm kind of like regathering my thoughts about it, I want to say he said we were talking about it since December, which doesn't confirm that this was the big, massive, crazy fight he had working on that he was teasing from like the middle of last year. But we'll go ahead and take a look at that clip. I know I was hard on Ariel for him supporting the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano thing. Do I blame Dana as much? I'm going to just let you guys know I don't blame Dana as much because he's the promoter. He's the one who has to sometimes do this stuff and say, fuck the fans. I'm going to try to manufacture these numbers. I think I know more than the fans. Sometimes the promoter, he has to do that. But I mean, it does speak to how out of touch Dana is. And who's to say that the fight didn't ultimately get done with the UFC because they were asking for more money and Dana didn't see it being worth it? Who's to say that's not why it didn't get done? Who's to say Dana begged and begged and begged and just, because that's what people are insinuating. Because the fight didn't take place, the fact that it's not taking place in the UFC, that Dana must have lost in the negotiations and he begged and scrotted, but Jake Paul outdid him. Who knows that to be a fact? We don't know. It could just as easily be that as it could be the fact that they asked for too much money and Dana said the fight's not worth that much money. Are you kidding me? It wasn't worth that much money then and it ain't worth it now. So once again, we'll look at that clip. And then in other news, Joaquin Buckley, Sean Brady. Joaquin Buckley, Sean Brady. Booked. UFC Vegas 116, the main event, April 25th. Get ready. Just get ready, boys. And for all, since it's now officially Joaquin Buckley fight, we got a Joaquin Buckley fight on our heels. This is an entire promotion from today until the fight takes place on April 25th. We got 2 months of promotion. Okay, this is now the biggest fight taking place in the UFC, one of the biggest fights. Call me crazy, but I am a crazy guy, so you would be accurate in that. Anyway, what am I getting to? We got 2 months of a buildup for this fight. You better be locked in on this channel. If you're not subscribed to this channel, you are going to miss out on a ton of Joaquin Buckley content from now up until the fight. The first interview for this fight will take place on this channel. And there's a chance, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but let's just say there's a chance that I will be presenting some exclusive fight week material when April 25th comes around. Okay, so that's why you need to be locked in on the channel. Joaquin's already confirmed he's coming on the live streaming fight companion for the BMF title fight, UFC 326, Holloway versus Oliveira. That's locked in, confirmed. The interview, all I got to do is reach out and we're going to lock in and confirm that as well. Probably film it this week. So stay tapped in. We got an interview coming up. We got the live stream locked in. And then we got potential fight week coverage. In person. IRL shit. All right. So stay locked in. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be having a lot of Joaquin Buckley content. Damn Tuxedo says, what's FMK? FMK, Nina Drama, Laura Sanko, Megan O'Leary. Thank you for the $2 donut, homie. I don't know what FMK means, though. Oh, fuck, marry, kill. I got you. That's too easy, bro. That's like the easiest one of all time. I would marry Megan O'Leary. I would, tap Laura Sanko, and I would, take out Nina Drama. Easy money. Easy money. Wouldn't lose a second of sleep over those decisions. Would never marry a girl like Laura Sanko, unfortunately. She'd be popping it too much on the weigh-in show. I don't like it. Megan O'Leary, very modest. She don't pop it at all. Oof. My type of girl. And she beautiful now. Natural beauty. No fake tits on her. No offense to the fake tits out there, but I'm a natural beauty type of guy. Nina Drama. Whew. Whew. Too easy. All right, so that's pretty much the deal. Oh, we also got some new Floyd Mayweather training footage that's dropped, so we'll take a look at some of that. Um, Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson. Looks like that's the next fight for both men. Although, Ryan just won the belt. Shakur just moved up a weight class, won the belt over there. Is he just gonna move up again? I mean, maybe. That's the one standstill I see for that fight being next, is that Shakur just moved up, took Tio's belt. Now he's going to move up one more division in his immediate next fight. Like, what happened to defending? What happened to being a champion? Lock in a defense or something. And then maybe you can go ahead and fight Ryan before Ryan returns anyway. But, Ryan, there's a couple other fights. There's the Rolly rematch, which I think a lot of people want to see. I don't want to see that at all. Not at all. But, the Haney rematch as well. Haney's calling for it today. So let me know who you want to see Ryan fight. It's also Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanaugh fight week. Super anticlimactic main event right there with Loner Kavanaugh. That's okay, though. But it is Brandon Moreno, Loner Kavanaugh fight week. Speaking of fight weeks, it's RAF. Arman Sarukian versus Giorgio Polis. Mr. Take Me Down, get $1,000. They got their grappling match this Friday for RAF, so I'm actually very excited for that. That's probably the best matchup they put on yet. They've been doing mismatches left and right, like very predictable matches. I'm looking forward to this one. Giorgio versus Arman. American wrestling versus essentially, Russian wrestling. Giorgio, like an Ohio State champ and everything. He competed in college, I'm 90% sure. So looking very much forward to that matchup. Tuxedo says FMK Cyborg, Nunes, Kayla Harrison. Damn, bro. That's so disgusting. Thank you for the $2 donut, homie. Why are all you guys liking that one? God, that's the worst one I've ever seen in my life, bro. How about like I'd marry Amanda Nunes probably. I'd probably bang Kayla and I'd have to take out Cyborg. I mean, if you choose Cyborg, you might be a little bit ditty. If you were to choose a Cyborg. So that's going to be the topics we'll get into today. Shit, before I get into it, it's a tough one, haha. Yeah, I'd go marry Nunes. I could spend my life with Nunes. She seems like a peaceful woman. Kayla Harrison, oh gosh, I couldn't be around her for more than, 5 minutes. So I'd make that one real quick. And then Cyborg, like I said, if I chose Cyborg, we might have to, wonder if I'm a bit zesty. Jew says Paramount is anti-woke. Yeah, it is anti-woke. And then Jew is also saying Diddy Booty Jackson. Rampage Diddy Booty Jackson is actually hilarious. All right, let me go ahead and take care of this call and let me come right back. But while I'm away, just run up the likes on the stream, I guess. We could double it up. We got 24 viewers in here, 12 likes. But run up the likes, whoever hasn't liked it yet. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'll come back in like 2 minutes. Literally like 2 minutes. Damn, my bad, my bad. You guys take too long to tell me that shit. The fuck's going on? Anyway, maybe you guys are just like away from your phones, probably away from keyboard. Okay, Tuxedo says, once again, thanks for a $2 dono, homie. Fuck, Mary killed Jeff Molina, Peyton Talbot, Dan Hooker, LOL, JK. Yeah, come on, bro. We can't be answering that one. But shout out to Tux. Shout out to Tux. Nah, I was going to say, before we get started onto the Sean Strickland controversy, meaning him getting censored in real time, I just wanted to go over the UFC Houston card. I didn't mention that when we first started off the stream. So, yeah, we definitely got to go over the UFC Houston card, which I would rate like a C, bro. I would rate it like a C. Do I need finishes for every fight? No. You know, I know there were two pretty decent knockouts, very decent knockouts on the card, and it's not really about the lack of finishes. Lewis, you said read your chat above. It never went through, homie, so sorry, but I mean, you'll have to resend it. Now, I didn't, speaking about the UFC Houston card as a whole, it wasn't the lack of finishes. It's just the lack of magnitude behind fights. And I think my biggest takeaway from this is it's getting to a point. Now, I won't overreact because I will admit this is the first time I've really felt this. But it's getting to a point where these UFC cards are no longer desirable to watch for the entirety. It's really getting to that point. At least this card was. This card was not desirable to watch in its entirety. We have prospects just like fumbling opportunities and not even losing. Just like mediocre performances. Like, this is the guy I was supposed to tune in and watch. This is the future prospect. Fuck no, he's not. You know, the only major prospects on the card were the ones who got finishes. Jacobe Smith and the Cheetah, the Dalmatian, forgetting his real name right now, Malik Wizel Costa. And lo and behold, they're the ones who got finishes. Aside from that, I don't want to hear nothing about this Correa guy. You know, don't want to hear nothing about him. Name another prospect. Don't want to hear nothing about him. The guy who knocked out Jeff Neal, good on him, but don't want to hear nothing about him. You know, really don't want to hear nothing too crazy about him. He needs to keep his head down. He needs to keep working. He needs to not get glazed. Because I think that's honestly what's ruining the sport a little bit too, is this treating everybody like they're the same. No, we should really pay attention to the stars in the sport. We should glaze the stars more. And these other guys, we should treat them like they don't exist until they could find a way to stand out. That's what I think about this. You know, yeah, great. Homie got a good knockout. But the reason why you guys just hop off their bandwagons the second they lose and shit like that, talking about the guy who beat Jeff Neal. I don't even know his damn name. I do, but I'm forgetting it because he's so, you know, you only hear about him when he fights. And that's the problem in itself right there. You know, if you don't want to take it seriously and have like a championship career and work your career and your way around this, then I'm not as interested in watching you fight. Call me an asshole. Call me an asshole. I mean, I guess I'm a dick. But that's the truth. And like, I don't know why we have to pay attention to everybody just because, like, you know, they're a part of the roster. They get toted out there to fight. It doesn't happen in boxing. There is a cult-like following in the UFC. But I'm getting over it. Getting over it. Quite a bit. Quite a bit getting over it. See, Juice Man says, Jeff Neal walkout song was hard as fuck. Wish he would have got the W, but Euros got a fan in me now. And it's also, you know, just so I don't get twisted up here, you can be a fan of Euros, but you know, like let's just not act like he's the next contender at 170. Can we please not do that? Can we please not start acting like Euros is the next contender at 170 because we all know he's not. No offense to Euros. No offense, but if you want to be considered a contender at 170, you need to do more. On top of that, there's zero promotional value whatsoever attached to his name. You know? And so it's a double whammy. There's zero promotional value attached to your name, and you know, you haven't really showed that you could be a future champion or even contend even close to the belt. So why are we paying attention again? Do you guys see what I mean a little bit? It's cool to be a fan. It's totally cool to be a fan, but I think sometimes guys get overhyped. I think sometimes guys get overhyped. So, and that was even the co-main event. That was even the co-main event. So it's saying something, speaking of that card, the co-main event, homie did knock Jeff Neal the fuck out. So we will give him credit for that. I don't want to discredit it. But to my point again, homie knocked Jeff Neal the fuck out. And it's like, who really cares? This guy's no contender, no offense. And that's why the card is rated like a C. That's why the card's rated a C. Even Jeff Neal is no contender. We've already seen his whole thing's played out. So for me, it's on to the next. I'm on to the next superstar. We're paying attention to Joaquin Buckley versus Sean Brady. We're paying attention to Jacobe Smith. Pertaining to 170, pertaining to middleweight, obviously we're paying attention to these guys right here in the main event. Fluffy, he's still in the mix. Strickland, he got the dub. O'Sally was overhyped. He was knocking out bums on his way up. He KO, got rushed. Aljo injured. That's overhyped. Yeah. But it's tough to say, Juice Man. Because the one thing that O'Malley does have over a guy like Medic is he has promotional value. So you can see why he's worth paying attention to, because he did bring a level of promotion, but which, in hindsight, it wasn't very much. It wasn't very much promotion that he actually brought, but yeah, I can admit Sean was pretty much manufactured. If I'm trying to almost like fumbling over my words to try to like justify that Sean wasn't overhyped, then maybe he was overhyped. But that's my thoughts on the card. Overall, that's my thoughts on the card. Let me look at Tapology real quick. Oh, I want to just mention this one. I saw people saying, homie, Isaac Dolgarian should be arrested because Yadier Del Valle got dominated by Jordan Levitt. And while that's fun to say on the internet, I'll give it to you guys. It's a fun thing to say on the internet. And I almost bought it. I almost did buy into it. But, as I was considering even spouting off that take on air tonight, I stopped to consider, and I'm like, well, you know what? Jordan Levitt moving down from 155, so he's the bigger guy. Isaac Dolgarian, he's a 45er. Yes, he's a prospect, a grappling prospect, but let's not act like Jordan Levitt's a slump on the ground, like he hasn't gotten some crazy finishes in the UFC. Arguably better finishes than Dolgarian himself. So I think by saying that, Levitt or Dolgarian should be arrested because he got submitted by Yadier Del Valle, I think you're not really respecting Jordan Levitt. You're basically saying, oh, Jordan Levitt's trash and he beat Yadier Del Valle, and Isaac Dolgarian's better than Jordan Levitt, so guaranteed Dolgarian through the fight. I mean, and like a lot of assumptions in that logic. Jordan Levitt moved down from 55 to 45, number one. Number two, Jordan Levitt, an established grappler. Number three, Jordan Levitt got better finishes in the UFC than Dolgarian himself at a weight class above. So before you guys just disrespect the fuck out of Jordan Levitt, consider what you're actually saying. By making it so that Dolgarian needs to be arrested, insinuating that, I mean, maybe he did throw the fight against Del Valle, but Jordan Levitt's win is not proof of that. I think that's the best way to say it. Maybe he did throw the fight against Del Valle, but Jordan Levitt's win is no proof of that. Jordan Levitt's a great grappler in his own right. He came down from a weight class above. So don't shit on Jordan Levitt, because that's low-key shitting on him. Not much more to say. Aside from just on the ones I really care about. Phil Rowe dropping his 9th UFC bout. He moves to 4-5 in the promotion. What he did in the last 10 seconds of the fight, I would have loved to see much earlier. I don't know if he was conserving his gas tank or what, but it's really all I can say. Now he's 4-5 in the promotion. I'm sure they'll keep him around a bit longer. He's 35. But that's an unfortunate loss for Phil. I know him, so I'm just going to leave it alone. But, he lost to the debutante, Liz Boyani. Let me sip my chicken bone broth real quick. And then, Puna versus Ramiz, another one of these fights that has just... Come on. We'll just wait to see what else they can do till something more high profile comes along. Now Jacobe Smith. Dana White even said it. We'll play the clip. But Dana said, this is one of the scariest knockouts he's seen in a long time. One of the craziest knockouts he's seen in a long time. And low-key it was. Josiah Harrell coming off that Moya brain surgery. He's been fighting. He's had like 3 fights since the surgery, so it's not like it's he's actually had like 4 fights since the surgery. So, yes, it's scary, but if this is the game he's playing, then this is a result he has most definitely come to grips with, which is getting knocked unconscious with a steel plate in his head, etc. Whether or not his brain is more fragile, when you step in that octagon, you guys are abiding by the same rules, the same principles, and his brain surgery has nothing to do with it in the moment in the fight. But I was concerned because of that. But it just goes to show he's been established, he's been fighting, so we really shouldn't be that concerned about it. I doubt he even wants us to be super concerned about it. With that being said, congrats to Jacobe, an insane finish. Worth mentioning, Jacobe, he was out of an opponent for like a week, maybe even longer. But Keok, he pulled out due to an injury. Jacobe wasn't booked up against an opponent up until fight week. Josiah took the fight on the week of. Jacobe stayed locked in. He stayed training. Didn't have any opponent to train for or look out for or game plan for. He went out there. He got it done. First round. Freestyled it. In my opinion, homie freestyled it. Homie let Josiah take him down just so that he could scramble. Ended up on top and knocked him out with ground and pound. That's exactly what happened. People are calling it a variation of a Granby roll. I guess so. Usually Granby rolls are like forward, to get out of takedowns. Homie got taken down, rolled backwards, landed on top. So call that what you want to call that. But he freestyled that shit. Jacobe looked real good out there. People question his gas tank in the fight. We'll see. It's yet to be tested. All knockouts. Knockout, and a rear naked choke. But even on Contender Series, knocked out his opponent with ground and pound. So Jacobe Smith, 3-0 in the UFC. He calls out Kevin Holland. If he can't get a ranked opponent, he wants Kevin Holland. Here's the quote. I got a name in mind. Outside of the top 15, that's where I want to be. But if not, Kevin Holland, where yo bitch ass at? So, Jacobe, he wants Kevin Holland if he can't get a top 15 opponent. I ran a poll. The streets say they want Kevin Holland first over a top 15 opponent. Kevin Holland is booked against Randy Brown. If Kevin Holland can beat Randy Brown, which that's going to, I guess it could be considered a favorable matchup for Kevin. But if he beats Randy Brown, what am I trying to say? If he beats Randy Brown, Jacobe Smith could easily be next. And I say push him to the moon. If he wants Kevin Holland, that's a great test. That's a fight with magnitude. That's a fight with historical value. I say book it. It's a big step up in competition from Josiah to Kevin Holland. I say book it. Tux says, trying to get ripped like you, counting carb, daily cardio. Thank you for the $2 dono, Tux. Good shit, homie. Good shit. You know what I would say, though, Tux? What I would say, contrary to a lot of people's belief, Um, just depends what you like, what you want to do. But I'll open your mind up to another perspective, which is you don't have to watch carbs so much. I mean, maybe stay under like, 250 grams. I don't know how big of a guy you are, Tux, but maybe if you're an average size human, 250 grams is good on carbs. And it's still rather high. But what you want to actually be watching is the fat intake. I don't know why more people don't say that, but the actual thing people want to be watching is the fat intake. If you are doing daily cardio too, you can all the more merrier to have a higher carb diet. Because you're going to be burning through the carbs anyway on that cardio, so you can afford a couple extra in your system. So just a little food for thought, Tux. If you run lower fat diet, you can actually go a bit higher in the carbs. And if you're wondering, well, then what's a healthy amount of fats per day? It can be a little bit difficult. I'm not going to say it's easy. And none of this shit's super easy, right? There's actually not an easy way to do it. But I'll just tell you what I do. I run 60 grams of fat a day. I run 60 grams of fat a day, about 300 carbs, and like 200 grams of protein. That makes up like 2,500 calories. So yeah, just food for thought. Just another perspective in case you guys didn't know. Just trying to give some free game. You could do however you like though. If you have a system of losing weight that works for you, I mean, I would trust it. So yeah, that's the deal with Jacobe. Kevin Holland right here. Dana White had this to say about Jacobe's knockout. Actually, we won't be playing it, but Dana said one of the worst knockouts I've seen. Sorry, it's just we can't be playing that footage. Now, to get to Sean Strickland's win. Didn't realize that going through the card would take a minute, but it is. Malik Wazell, we'll see what's next for him. I know he made a call out. It's skipping my head right now. He wants Diego Lopez, right? Give him Diego Lopez. He got one of the longest win streaks in the division, if not the longest. Give him Diego Lopez. Fat is flavor. Tux, fat is flavor. Fat is flavor. But sugar is carbs. Fat is flavor. Tux. But sugar is carbs, and a lot of people crave sugar. So, you can have like flavored oatmeal because it's actually pretty low in fat. So keep that one in mind. Fat is flavor, but sugar is carbs, and people like sugar. People like sugar. That means you don't got to stay away from honey and stuff like that. You could sweeten up your Greek yogurt because that really got, if you put a serving of honey in a serving of Greek yogurt, that contains a whopping 0 grams of fat. So you will have to familiarize yourself with low-fat foods like chicken breast. Things of that sort. Top round steak is another good one instead of a ribeye. But besides that, a little side note. Juice says, I heard fats go straight to the belly fat. I mean, I think it does go there first. I think it goes there first, which is crazy. What's crazy is that the fats go straight to the belly, but the belly is the last fat you lose. Like your love handles and shit, that's the last fat you lose almost. You'll go down on you will lose a lot on the stomach. You will lose a lot on the arms, in your face. You'll lose a lot of fat in the legs too. But the love handles is the last to go. But it's the first thing to come back. Motherfucking love handles. Okay. Sean Strickland. Fluffy Hernandez stops him in round 3. Hamzat was straight pacing in his fucking house. Or like in some type of warehouse after Strickland won. Now, I'm going to say something to you guys. It might actually take you by surprise. It's going to have to tie quite a few things in right now. But bear with me. Because I think that I have mapped out the best UFC White House card imaginable. And speaking of title fights on title fights, I think I got it. And I think we only need 3. If anybody got any guesses as to what title fights I'm going to call for, I'm pretty sure you guys know the first one I'm going to call for, but maybe you don't. Okay? But there's 2 title fights on top of Ilya versus Gaethje that I'm calling for now after this event just wrapped up. One of them, because I was just about to say, what's next for Strickland? Well, I think he should fight fucking Khamzat. And if he doesn't fight Khamzat, he should fight Imavov for the vacant title. When and where should he fight for that? At the UFC White House. Strickland said he's not leaving the US, not even vacationing. So, even more the reason, book it at the White House, bro. Now, Khamzat, he's the fishy one because will he want to fight at the White House? Shit, you do what Daddy Dana tells you, homie. But if not, if he wants to throw a fit about it, then let's go interim title fight at the White House between Strickland and Imavov, the rematch. Dern versus Whaley, Tony Sal, come on. You know me better than that. You know I wouldn't call for something like that. Good on you for trolling me, though. So I say Strickland versus Khamzat. If not Strickland, Khamzat, I say Imavov Strickland for the interim title. And I don't think it's that hard to book. Genuinely, I don't think it's that hard to book. Perfect timing. We are 4 months out. A little bit less than four months out. Give Sean a couple weeks to heal, rest up, and recover, and get ready for the fight. Imavov's been waiting. If Khamzat's not ready to go by June, or if he doesn't want to, fuck him. Fuck him. You know, we got contenders waiting. We got Sean Strickland, one of the biggest stars in the promotion. It's a shame that they muted his ass, bro, because even his weigh-in thing, when he flipped off the Houston crowd, that shit went viral as fuck, bro. People don't realize how big of a star Strickland is. How much he translates over to the casual viewer. When they saw that little speech he gave at the ceremonial weigh-ins after his face-off, and he flipped off the crowd, bro, so many people watched that. And that's just a ceremonial weigh-in impromptu speech. He crosses over to the casual fan base. People who never even look at UFC, they saw that, and they saw aura in that. All right? They saw aura in that. Go back and watch it. They're like, who's this guy? Wow, he's fighting tomorrow? I got to see. I'd love to see the viewership for that too, but we won't see it. Tuxedo says, might just eat clean and trend harder. Shit, if you're going to get on that trend, you probably don't even need to watch your diet unless you're competing on like some type of show, but you know what I mean? Okay, and the second fight for UFC White House, what is it? Well, Dana White was asked at the post-fight press conference. He said, they asked him, Pereira teasing a move up to heavyweight. You're 205-pound champion, teasing a move up to heavyweight. Are you down with it? Daddy Dana says, we'll work with him. I'm down. He's been nothing but reliable. He says yes to everything. I'd be down to work with him. Perfect timing because Aspinall's out with the eye injury. The heavyweight title has essentially been vacant for, you know, even when John Jones had it, there was no real champion, bro. We've been fucked for years now. Heavyweight hasn't had any clarity for years. Contenders got no fucking champion to look up to. You know, who they're aiming at. I say you do Pereira versus Gane. And I know, Gane should not get the benefit of the doubt. But what are we going to do, guys? There's literally no other contenders at heavyweight. There's just no other contenders at heavyweight. If the system doesn't allow for Gane to be suspended and fined, well, then we are going to have to just reward him for bad behavior. You know? And I guess call out the commission for not having rules in place to suspend and fine Cyril for egregiously fouling Tom Aspinall, not once, but doing it in all of his past fights. So we got to play with the rules that we're dealt. And like I said, heavyweight hasn't had any clarity in years. The whole time John was the champion, we haven't even had any clarity then. All right? Francis and Ngannou left. That's the last time we had clarity, when Francis left. When John and Cyril Gane fought, I mean, I guess for a little bit. But then the problem is that John never fought a contender. He just fought Stipe and then retired. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there was no real champion to look up to. There was no future in the division. It was an old-ass fight between John and fucking Stipe. And then, of course, Tom Aspinall finally gets to defend his interim title. gets upgraded to undisputed, and we get this eye poke controversy, delaying it even further. We're now in February with no idea of when Tom Aspinall is going to return. This happened in December. Give me a second. I got to answer this call now. I told you guys it was coming. I'm just going to sit right here. All right, we're back. We're back. Who is it? Kayla Diaz? Nah. Shout out to everybody dropping their comments in the chat. Let me get through. Let me get through. Let me get through what I'm trying to say. Well, I mean, I pretty much am already through it. Tony Sal playing the guessing game on who I'm on the phone with. I just had to answer a phone call from my mom real quick. So what was the topic I was on? Hamzat, right? Hamzat. So I just wanted to tie this all in with, Strickland versus Hamzat, Strickland versus Imavov, UFC White House, right? Middleweight title. Interim would be better because then you can have the reigning champion return and he's not going to be held up on timelines. We got Gaethje versus Ilya already locked in, and then I say you do Pereira and you do Cyril Gane, regardless of the fact that Cyril Gane's a cheating bastard who deserves nothing good to happen to him. All right, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean a little bit of truth in every joke. Here's Dana saying, Pereira, yes, Hamzat, defend. God, my bad. My bad. Sorry about that. Let me redo the clip.
Alex Pereira teasing potentially going up to heavyweight. Do you want to see him compete at heavyweight, or do you want to see him defend the light heavyweight title in his next match?
Well, he's one of those guys that that always steps up, does whatever we need him to do. Whatever that guy wants to do, we would work with him.
And one more. We've seen Hamzat Chimaev fight at welterweight. We see him fight at middleweight. Is he someone that if he says, hey, I want to fight at light heavyweight, we'd see him fight at light?
I'd like to see him defend his title at a weight first. Yeah, I'd like to see him defend his title before he talks about jumping around from, you're going to keep going up in weight divisions without defending. Yeah, I'd rather see him defend.
So, I mean, I think that's completely fair. Honestly, I think it's completely fair. And we got viable contenders at 205 ready to hop in there, ready to fight for the belt, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Olberg with one of the longest win streaks in the division, Yuri Prohaska. If it wasn't for his 2 losses to Alex, he would be fighting for the title next regardless. So create some fresh matchups, some new parity, and heavyweight can finally get a good fight going. Hopefully this time no eye pokes, no cheating bullshit from Cyril Gane, because Cyril versus Aspinall was a good fight until the eye pokes happened. Watch how Dana was snappy at Schmo. Was he snappy at Schmo there, Jew? I think I did see something where Schmo was asking him. It was kind of a weird question, asking about Bruce Buffer and if Bruce Buffer is going to get an even bigger celebration when he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. But I was happy to see Schmo there, and I do remember, that's why Schmo stopped going to those things, because Dana was snappy as fuck on him for a while. That's just my speculation. I don't know why Schmo stopped going, but I remember Dana was always super snappy on him. And for what? What did Schmo ever do to him? You can't let Dana bully you like that. Imagine censoring John Jones. The man would murder them. Francis and Ngannou too. Lift and inspire. You act like they're like these loose cannons. Like Strickland would murder them too. The problem is that, you know, when you're out in the wild, there's some rules you got to live by. You feel me? Nah, Dana really banned Schmo for a while. It happened right before Nina came in. Damn, I never considered that timing, Jew. I never considered that timing. If you remember, Schmo used to get the interviews Nina did. Damn. Well, you know what? If you're going to sell your soul to Dana, I don't even respect you anyway. It's not something I've done, would do. Even if it was offered, I wouldn't sell my soul to Dana. America First. I hope Bug was paying attention to Jacoby. He knows how to promote himself the right way. Hey, we're going to get Jacobe Smith on. I'm going to reach out to him for an interview. I think he will come on. So we'll get Jacoby on for damn sure. Can't wait to talk to Jacoby. But if you guys see what I mean, like, you know, Jacoby, I have previous interviews with him. Do you see why I reach out to a guy like Jacoby? Do you see why I won't necessarily reach out to a guy like Euros Medic even after his Jeff Neal knockout? I feel like when you reach out to a guy like, hear me out, when you reach out to a guy like Euros, you're just trying to capitalize off like the sensationalism of the knockout, which is fine. We all have to do it. But the problem is there's no longevity. You know, you just get it for that one time. You spent that time, but no one's going to really remember his career. It's not one to look back on. It's not one to be studied. And I really, you know, the way I do my interviews, I like it to be historic. You know, I like it to be like a historical account of everything. You know, go back and look at all the interviews with me and Joaquin. It's literally a historical account of how his career has gone up to this point. You know, like almost documentary style. And for me, it's just like I'm over, you know, I did it already. I did it already. I did these interviews with some people where it just like there was no historical value to it as time goes on. And I don't want to do it anymore. I'd rather continue doing live streams, be a bit more picky with the interviews, and get on guys who have, you know, futures in the sport. You know, Joaquin, Jacobe Smith, you know, and then we'll also save some time and some space for the crazy stories like SD Dumas getting arrested, getting the first exclusive interview once he gets out of jail. You know, but between those two types of pieces of content and me doing live streams, we don't got time for nothing else. Okay, so let that be food for thought. If you just don't get to come on this platform because you got to win, you know, I'm done with it. Absolutely done with it. And if that means less interviews, then that just means less interviews. But I mean, even look at me interviewing, which is dropping tomorrow on members only. But Adrian Lee, you know, one of the top prospects, 19 years old, 4-1 or 3-1 in MMA. There's a reason why I'm reaching out to Adrian Lee. You know, his career is worth documenting. And so I said that enough times. I'm sure you guys get the point now. Before we wrap up the Khamzat Chimaev topic and we get into Sean Strickland getting censored in real time, let's just hear Sean Strickland say something to Khamzat about making him quit. Khamzat claims, you know, he submitted Strickland, but Strickland's already admitted to this on the Schmo in interviews. If you've seen it, you've seen it. But, you know, Strickland already admitted this in an exclusive Schmo interview, like at Extreme Couture years ago. So it's not really anything new, but still they're asking Sean about it, even though he's admitted to it. And Sean claims he made Hamzat quit. But there is a bit more. There is a bit more. Like Hamzat's reaction to Sean. My bad, it was the first one. Hamzat said, Habibi, calm down. I destroyed the guy who beat you twice, American bitch.
He said he tapped you out. That's why you hate him.
Bro, I made him quit training. Witnesses in the audience. Where's Eric at? I made him quit. No, dude. We're doing positional grappling. And he fucking positional grappling. All right, start on my back. And I was like, first round, I let him fucking choke me because it's like no one gives a fuck. Let me tell you about this little bitch. I'll tell you. When I walk into a gym, do you think that I go find the little weakest man? I say, let's spar. I say, no, I go find the biggest, baddest motherfucker. And I'm like, hey, I want to spar you. Every time Chimaev would walk in the gym, he would pick the smallest, lowest level pro and say, but he looks like my opponent. You're beating the fuck out of it. And this is a true story. You guys could back me up, my team. He would pick the smallest guy. Chimaev's a fucking bully. And if you notice what he does in the division, he just runs and fucking hides. Oh, now I want to go to 205 and fight fucking Yuri, who's not even the fucking champ, dude. You just run and fucking hide. You did it when you train with us, and you're doing it in the fucking division.
He said he tapped you out. That's why you hate him.
Bro,
And, Hamza, he did say that, like, he clapped back to this. I don't have it on hand to pull up. But essentially, I saw a post somewhere where Hamza clapped back at this. And he was like, Cap, I wanted to train with you. Ask your coach, Eric Nixick, to confirm it. I always called for you. You ran for me. Something along those lines. So if you wanted to know what Hamzat thought about Strickland's comments about picking the toughest guy in the gym and Hamzat picking on bitches in the gym and making Hamzat quit, Hamzat never addressed the whole quitting allegation. Gravy says Strickland versus Hamzat, book it now. Gravy, that's where I'm at with it. Gravy, I think you just joined, but you missed my bit. I called for Strickland versus Hamzat at UFC White House, and if Hamzat doesn't want that smoke, then we're running interim with Imavov and Strickland at White House. We can't afford not to have our American hero Sean Strickland on UFC White House, especially after he called out Jim West for grooming Aspen Ladd allegedly. All right, he's my king. He's my fucking hero at this point in time. Sean Strickland, protect him at all cost. We need to save Strickland at all cost. He is walking like I don't got the term in my head right now, but like we must protect Sean Strickland at all cost. He's the last thing we have left, the last great thing we have left in the UFC at this point in time. Gravy says, haha, we're usually on the same wave with MMA takes. Exactly, Gravy. And then yeah, shout out to you. I was gonna give you a shout out, Gravy. And then Gravy says, you know what you want now in terms of content. That's important. Some people just out here doing stuff. Yeah. The content, it changes. I'm not saying I regret doing the interviews I did with some other fighters who weren't really contenders back in the day. It just got me to where I am now, where I realize things a bit differently. Juice says, well, there's videos of Hamzat training with Strickland. Yeah, these guys are like splitting hairs, I think, because they did train, Strickland did tap. I don't know if Hamzat quit, but these are the three narratives. We did they train? I mean, they did train, but then Sean says he ducked him, or at least he insinuates it. Sean says, yeah, I tapped, but like, who cares? And then now there's this new quitting allegation taking place, which hasn't been acknowledged yet. But I wanted to just show you guys Hamzat pacing back and forth. Bro, when the fuck did I mute myself? My bad. I was saying I'm looking for Hamzat on the explore page.
I kind of thought you started going a little wild. And like, no part of you slowing down. But to me, you're getting a little
Oh my god. This whole thing's getting me out of sorts right now.
more sloppy. But like, no part of this man was slowing down. He was a fucking savage.
We'll talk to you in just a second, Fluffy. Oh, Simmons up win. Fluffy just fought 8 in a row. You stopped it. You're a former champion. What do you want next show?
I kind of thought you started going a little wild. And like, no
So here's Hamzat pacing back and forth. And now that'll bring us to... That reminds me of the neighbor. Let me close this door just so that I don't get bitched at. But before I do that, before I close the door, this brings us to the Sean Strickland Jim West story. And I think you guys have all been waiting for this story. So let's get into it. I'll shut this door.
You know, it's actually kind of funny.
So I've already kind of told you guys, right? I've already kind of told you, but let me go over it again. Sean Strickland, in his post-fight press conference, after defeating Anthony Hernandez via TKO in round 3, homie gets on the mic, and they ask him something along the lines of, was there any animosity in this fight? And this was Sean's response. You know, he's saying, you know, usually I'm locked in. I'm locked in before a fight. This time around, I was having a bit of trouble trying to get locked in before the fight, being like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Until I looked at his coach, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez coach Jim West. As soon as I saw Jim West, who I despise for grooming Aspen Ladd, it all changed. I said, there's no way I'm losing to this guy, this team. All right, this coach. Then he goes on to explain Aspen Ladd and how she got groomed from this guy Jim West as a 14-year-old. Apparently, you know, he was 35 when he started coaching her. She was 14 when she joined the gym. Now they're married. Now they're married. So, I mean, that's a little bit fishy. You know, Sean Strickland really is an American hero. He's the only one who goes in on Tiki Gosen for allegedly messing with, you know, some sexual misconduct in his gym in Huntington Beach. Now he calls out Jim West. Who will be next? You know, Strickland calling out Moneyberg. This the last great, you know, American hero in the UFC we got left. Sean Strickland calls out Moneyberg, Jim West, Tiki Gosen. This is why Sean Strickland must be protected at all costs. But let's play the clip. You know, homie got censored in real time. They cut off the mic. And then after this, I'll play you what he actually said, because we have that content as well.
Everybody, my whole corner's putting their head down. So if you notice, usually when I go into a fight, I'm fucking locked in, dog. I'm looking at this motherfucker. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck you up. He's looking at me, and then I noticed in the corner of my eye, because you need some hate when you fight, right? Like you just can't go in there and like you gotta come from a place of hate just a little bit. And I noticed in the corner of my eye, Jim West. That motherfucker's looking at me, and I look at Jim West. You'll see if you look at the fight, I like veer off. I'm looking at Jim West. I kept thinking, there's no fucking way I'm going to let this fucking predator beat me and have a fucking victory over me. You right? Like, so my motivation was thinking about, like, Jim West. I fucking hate that guy. Like, no, it's crazy. Like, and I love Fluffy. He's a stand-up guy. Is there anybody that's 35 around here? Anybody close to 35 years old? Can you picture being 35 years old and meeting a sweet little 14-year-old Aspen Ladd and saying, I'm going to marry her when she turns 18. That's what fucking Jim West did. So whenever I was in that cage and me and Fluffy are locked in and I'm looking over at Jim West, and I was like, fuck this guy. I am not letting this motherfucker. I wasn't fighting Fluffy. I was fighting Jim West. Swear to God.
To be clear, I did not bait you to say that, correct?
Oh, yeah, you baited the fuck. But it was good. You made it interesting. I mean, these motherfuckers are so boring in this sport. Like, these guys have no personality. You got Colby, like the pretend Republican, but like, who's really like entertaining? You got Chimaev, the fucking go fucker. Like who's really entertaining in this division? Nobody. So. Oh, that's a wrap. Anyways.
And here he is. They cut off the mic. Now he's just talking. He's actually saying like, "Hey, Schmo still has a question. Fuck you guys." You know, so he's answering Schmo's question. We'll play this, but just while it's quiet, you know, is this really the work of Paramount, bro? I mean, I guess we really do have Paramount execs at these events, and they're just going to pull the plug like this on a broadcast. You know, this is on YouTube though. They do not play this stuff on their TV, so I don't know why they're so concerned about what the UFC is putting on their YouTube channel.
You know, it's actually,
you know, that's one of my main things. Like, this is on the UFC's YouTube channel. I know that you're a representation of the UFC because you signed this deal, but fuck you. This is what you signed up for. You don't get to come in here and tell us what we can and cannot say. This is what we've been saying. This is what we've been doing, and you signed us on for $7.7 billion. Don't start trying to change it now. That's crazy work. Honestly, I don't know for a fact, but I mean, I do think that the Paramount execs pulled the plug. But why would, I mean, maybe it is the UFC because this is only on UFC's YouTube channel. It's only on UFC's YouTube channel. But you gotta assume that there are Paramount execs at this event. You know, it's broadcasting on Paramount Plus. So execs gotta be at the event. Did one of the execs pull the plug at the post-fight presser, which has nothing to do with the Paramount Plus broadcast? Paramount Plus broadcast. Oh my fucking God. Gosh. Maybe. But that's what I would say. If Paramount had anything to do with this, that's disgusting work. This is the first time ever a UFC fighter has been censored in history, to my knowledge. So if the UFC has never done this up to this point, why would they start now? Which makes me lean towards it being Paramount Plus pulling the plug. Now, listen, Paramount Plus, you signed the UFC, but whatever they do in here doesn't mean you co-sign it necessarily. I mean, you just signed up for the circus. So stop making it seem like because you're in a partnership with the UFC that we represent you and we need to watch our tongue because we represent you. Fuck you. All right, fuck you if you cut off his mic. How about that? This is what we've been doing. This is why you signed us for $7.7 billion. If we didn't do this type of shit, you would have never signed us for $7.7 billion. What's going to happen? The UFC's never been sued by this shit. Why the fuck would Paramount get sued? Or like what's the big deal? Lose a penny? What, from sponsors? The UFC just got signed 7.7 to fucking Paramount. Billion. We got sponsors all over the UFC. What are we tripping about? They want to be in bed with like LGBTQ plus fucking companies? Like Walmart and shit? Fuck them. That's what it is, isn't it? Walmart's not going to want to do business and they're not having it. The UFC says if you don't want to do business with us because we're edgy, then fuck you. Well, Paramount, get on board. Get on board, Paramount. Because this is how we run things over here. If you don't want to do business with us, if you don't want to sponsor us because of what we say and what we do over here, then fuck you. We don't want your money anyway. That's dirty money. That's what we call dirty money. You feel me? That's what we call dirty money. We don't want that dirty fucking money. We don't want that dirty fucking money. Crazy work. That is how they would lose a penny. Because they're not going to want to do business. Fuck sponsors. So, you know, this goes back to Sean Strickland's original media day where he went after Bad Bunny and all this stuff. I mean, I guess we could play it for context in a second. But here's Dana's response to all that. Basically, actually, comments are getting ghosted in chat. Damn, of course they are because of what we're talking about. Keep dropping in your comments, though. Sorry that they're getting ghosted. There's no barrier for entry. Anyone can say whatever they want. Dana White got asked a question at the post-fight press conference after Sean's win. Essentially, Oscar asked him, you know, Sean, he's in talks for a title shot now. I just called for Sean to fight Hamza at UFC White House or Imavov for the interim title. But Dana got asked, you're not gonna put any weight on the things Sean says, right? You will book him for UFC White House, correct? Not you will book him for UFC White House, but like the things he says isn't gonna get in the way of him potentially earning a title shot off this win over Fluffy, right? Because this is the stance Dana's always kept. But Dana says, you know what? It's making it a bit difficult now with the things Sean says. And I blame some of the media a little bit, which it wasn't fair because the media, sometimes they do, but in this case, they didn't bait Sean at all. So let's listen to what Dana White had to say about this.
When you look at Strickland and what comes next to him, he's calling for a Hamzat fight, stuff like that. There's no, what he says during media day and things like that. That doesn't affect your booking of him, right? You are still happy to put him in those?
It's a nightmare. But you guys don't help. Asking them dumb shit, ask dumb shit, you're going to get dumb shit. What'd you think of Bad Bunny? What'd you think of the Super Bowl? Get the fuck out of here. You fucking kidding me? Yeah. So when you talk about what Strickland says, you guys like to push the buttons.
When you look at...
They didn't ask what he thought about the Super Bowl. He just volunteered those thoughts. Juice saying they on to his Castro shit. Sean's the last great American in the UFC. I'm the last great stream of MMA. So they better not get to us. America First joking that I'm gonna get censored by Paramount, trying to get me going. Won't get me going off that, America. But shout out to you, homie. Juice says, honestly, I have a hard time believing same people that have Yellowstone, Landman, and South Park censor Strickland. They say anti-woke stuff all the time in those shows. Yeah, but they don't go off on the gays. Or, maybe they do go off on the gays. I could see Landman in Yellowstone and potentially South Park. My thing is with that, I would assume Paramount did it before I assumed the UFC did it because the UFC never has done it in their life. And this happened 2 months into the Paramount deal. You know what I'm saying? Now, Strickland had a few things to say, Speaking of Strickland, I won't go into this whole thing, but if you guys have seen it, Strickland went off on fighter pay. As far as pay scale, the UFC is the most fucked up. It's not fair. It's predatory. You'll make more money at Walmart. Is Dana mad about this? Putting it simple, I don't think Dana gives a fuck about this. Putting it simple, I don't think Dana gives a fuck about this. I think Dana's more mad about the comments about Bad Bunny, which we'll play for context in case no one saw it. This is what Dana's mad about.
And look at the NFL, dude. You had that. I don't even want to say that name because, it's just what? Somebody give me his name. Just come say his name. I don't want to say it. I'm talking about the halftime show guy, the Puerto Rican, right? Puerto Rican.
Bad Bunny?
Bro, yeah, that dude, it is so crazy that this is America now. Back in the day, dude, the NFL was the standard of being a man. And now every year, the NFL, I think they all get together around a table and say, you know what, guys, how do we ruin this sport? How do we gay it up? How do we ruin it? Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we bring a gay foreigner who doesn't speak English and have him perform it? Get the and then you have yeah, dude, it's the NFL is pathetic these days. So even the NFL players probably hate it. Yeah, no. NFL's gay. I think we'd all agree the NFL got real gay lately. And look at the NFL, dude. You had that. I don't even.
So this is one of the main clips that went viral from Sean's press conference. Also this one, going off on women. Not too crazy. This is actually what got him going. He was asked his thoughts on Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano, and he said not many people give a fuck about women's MMA in general. It's like the WNBA. I'm trying to talk too fast. That brings us to, can I just find it on I'm sure Champ Brown's probably posted it. Oh, and this is what I'm talking about, right? So Strickland, little impromptu speech to the UFC Houston crowd at the ceremonials. 5.2 million views. This is what you call crossing over. 5.2 million views is what you call crossing over to the casual fan. Sean saying, I'm an American. I'm not leaving. I'm not traveling. I'm not vacationing. I'm going to die on this fucking soil. So that's why it's the White House or bust. Here is this Chimaev response. You liar bitch. I always try to get you, but you was running from me. Ask your coach. He knows. So they're both saying they're scary of each other. Oh. Before I get into this next topic, if you guys want to see what was said, this is what was said. Here you go.
Oh, that's a wrap? Anyways, wait, I got one for Smo. It ain't a rap, dog. Relax, UFC motherfucker. What's up, Smo?
I gotta ask you this. You stop.
Now, he does say relax UFC motherfucker, not Paramount motherfucker. So who really knows? We don't know if Paramount is the one who pulled the plug or UFC. We really don't know.
Guy with the 8-fight win streak. Do you feel like Sean Strickland did enough to get the next title shot in the middleweight division?
Yes, I fucking did. I don't think this thing works. I'll stand up. Yes, Judge, did enough. Listen, you don't want to see any of these motherfuckers fight that little Chechen war. You want to see the last fucking American in the sport going, fuck that guy up. And that's what's going to happen.
What does Sean Strickland do to beat Khamzat Chimaev?
Anything I fucking want, dude. Anything I fucking want, dude. I'll bring a fucking goat. He'll get distracted. Anything I fucking want.
Also, this is new training footage of Mayweather, the GOAT, man. Mayweather, the GOAT. Buyer seller, thank you for the heads up. I just fixed it. It should be a little bit better now. Now I want to play this clip of Dana speaking on how he wanted Ronda versus Gina. I'm going to have to do some research to find it, I guess. Damn, by the way, we got to show love to Kevin from Chicago, Soldier. Homie says, fell on my back walking down slippery stairs. Back is fucked, bro. Damn, homie threw out his fucking back. Hey, get well soon, Kevin from Chicago. Soldier homie. Get well soon, homie. We with you, homie. But sorry that happened to you. Not clipping off Dana speaking on Ronda versus Gina. Whatever. We need to just go over this because I told you guys, I tried to tell you. See, honestly, me and Sean, we might be the same guy or something. Because we do have some similar opinions. But we had the same opinion on Ronda versus Gina. And we got the same opinion on Oscar Willis and Dan Hooker. I told you guys, hopefully nothing ever happened between Oscar and Dan because these boys had sleepovers together. You know, after Dan's zesty allegations came out, I told you guys. Oscar posted Dan on his story and shit, bro. Oscar's accused of being gay himself. Now Dan getting accused of being gay, and with revisionist history, we know that these boys have had sleepovers. I mean, crazy work. And I told you guys from the get-go, Sean is the one who accuses Oscar Willis of being gay. So Sean, you know, enters the post-fight press conference, and he starts going off on Oscar about Dan Hooker, saying that, you know, same shit I was telling you guys a few days ago. Hopefully nothing happened here. Here's the quote, though. Sean goes, oh, no, you poking Dan? They accused you of banging Dan, right? I could see Dan. I'm not saying he's a gay man, but I could see him partying a little too hard with you, maybe getting a little loose. I told you guys. I straight told you, motherfuckers. Apparently, a lot of people are accusing Oscar. Dana isn't gay, he's bisexual. That's what it is. Anyway, we just got to take a look at this for comedy, and because I told you guys the same thought process that I had.
No, you poking Dan.
You know, when that happened, that came out, it wasn't lost on me that it was a Sean Strickland fight week that I would have to go and deal with afterwards, you know?
But no, they accuse you, right, of banging Dan, right?
They accuse me.
Dude, no, I could see Dan liking to party. I'm not saying Dan's a gay man, but I could see him, partying a little bit with you. Maybe getting a little bit too loose, waking up to one little sore butthole.
So it was a fantastic win.
Yeah, so good on Strickland for roasting Oscar about this. This definitely had to be watched. But I guess yeah, we're in the studio.
I know the answer to this, but right, when you look, he said...
That's a nice stuff. Think of when you talk.
Any medical updates on the guy?
I've seen. I was like, so far.
We could hear that announcement. Oh, the
Legit.
event. Do it down in your...
We will do it.
Okay. Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano was
Here it
announced
is.
to be on Netflix. Ronda said she approached you to have that fight. Then she said that it didn't work out, and maybe financial reasons were because of that under the new Paramount era. Are you disappointed not to be hosting that fight, and are you happy to see Ronda return to MMA?
Yeah, her and I have been talking about this since last year, and yeah, it just didn't work out. But I'm happy for it. Listen, me and Gina are in a really good place. We weren't at one point, and I'm happy for both of them.
Okay, so here's the story going on with this one with Gina, Ronda, and Dana. Now, I thought that Dana might have said we were talking about that fight since December of last year, but he's saying since last year. Now, there's the clip. There's the clip of Dana promising a big fight, right? Last year, viral clip, Dana says, I've got something in the works. You guys are never going to see it coming. It pains me the day that I have to pull up MMA Joey to find the clip. But yeah, Dana essentially said, I got something in the works that you'll never see coming. And with him just revealing that he was talking to Ronda about this since last year, it only kind of makes sense, right? This is what he was talking about. And the reason why it never got announced is because... The reason why it never got announced is because it never got made. Did Joey like delete his post or something? Or it's like a reply? Guess he deleted his post. You guys should know, though, all I was going to pull up was the clip of Dana promising, something big for next year that we're not going to see coming. Everybody was holding Dana to those words, saying, when's it going to come? When's it going to come? He never announced it because he wanted the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight, but it never came to fruition. I guess. Now that's an assumption. Who knows for a fact, but that is a fair assumption, I think, to make at this point in time. Now, there's more to this, though. Dana admitting things just didn't work out between the UFC and Ronda versus Gina. Now, the biggest narrative people are putting on that is, because it didn't work out, Dana White failed at negotiations. Dana wanted this fight. He was willing to do anything for it, and he just failed at the negotiations. And Jake Paul did a better job than him at securing this fight. Honestly, I have a pretty hard time believing that. If Dana really wanted this fight and he was going to be hell-bent on not letting anyone else take this fight, I think he would have opened up his pockets and paid whatever money he wanted for it. But what's the point if it's not going to generate anything? What would be the point? Why would you overspend for a fight nobody wants to see when you already have guys under contract who you could pay less money and it's actually a fight people want to see? Use Ilya versus Gaethje as the example. These guys are already under contract, guaranteed for UFC White House. We don't got to negotiate some ungodly number to get them back under contract. And more people will watch this anyway. Now, let's just do a hypothetical and say if Dana really thought that this was going to be the fight, that this would have been something to sell to fans off of a gimmick, wolf ticket type bullshit promotion, shame on him. If that is what he wanted to do and the negotiations fell through and Jake's the better negotiator, shame on him. You know, shame on him for looking down on us and thinking that low of us fans to where he could sell us something like that. Shame on him for that. You think so low of us fans that you think you could sell us Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano? In what world for what? And that's why I say I don't think it's the narrative people are putting out there. And they're going to use this clip as proof that, oh, see what I mean? Dana wanted it. He fumbled it. Really, who's to say he fumbled it? Who's not to say that Ronda came to him asking for an ungodly number and he said no? No one's going to watch this. I could pay less for more views elsewhere. Who's to say that's not what happened? Who's to say that's not what happened? I think we should do a poll. Did Dana fumble Ronda versus Gina? And you guys should know what the answers entail when you say yes or no. Okay, when you vote yes or no, yes is obviously going to entail he wanted the fight and they took their services elsewhere. If Dana didn't fumble Ronda versus Gina, that means he told them, get lost, take your services elsewhere. We not paying you that type of money. Yeah, Drew's saying he's seen the clip that I was talking about. Most of us who watched the press conference has seen it. So there you go. I know a lot of you guys have seen it. I was just trying to tie it all together. But yeah, you'll have to rely on your memory for that because I did not provide it. 80 says, Jacob, do you think the UFC fight and the Ryan Garcia fights were equally popular? No, Ryan Garcia is a way more popular fight. AD. Ryan Garcia is a way more popular fight. Sean Strickland does a good job, but I think Ryan Garcia's fight blew it out of the water, bro. You know, T-Mobile Arena type shit versus the Toyota Center. Championship bout versus non-championship bout. Come on now. But, you know, Sean Strickland, he does go viral and he does bring a lot of attention. I'm just saying Ryan Garcia also does that. And, you know, they sold out T-Mobile and there were a championship bout. Garcia was on his shit last night. He was true silence. And somebody was asking, they're like, how is Garcia a 14-time national champion? He's not even that old. Meaning, like, you know, if he was a 14-time national champion by the time he was 18, he must have started when he was 4 years old. I don't know how all that shit works, but I did look it up and I was wrong. He's not a 14-time national champion. He's a 15-time national champion. Literally a 15 times. So shit. Drew goes, I was saying this exactly day one, but now I think it's more likely that he didn't want to pay the bill because it wasn't worth it. And I also think Gina mentioned they weren't giving her the numbers she wanted. There we go. There we go, Drew. That's what I believe as well. I think he wanted it, but once the ends don't meet the demand, then he's kind of forced to let it go. Can't overpay for something that's not even going to generate the asking price. Exactly. AD says Jacob seems like Ryan Garcia's streaming popularity and his own storyline is more popular, albeit Strickland has a storyline. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of hard to compare them, AD. It's a bit hard to compare them, but you know, I think you said it pretty fair. Strickland has a storyline, Garcia also has a storyline, and it might be a bit more popular. You know, but they are neck and neck. I just think the magnitude of the, like, for example, I wouldn't say, you know, Ryan and Strickland, they're pretty equal in terms of star power, to be honest with you. But I would just say the magnitude of Ryan's event, it had more on the line. You know, the title, a bigger arena, press conferences, you know, it really had it all, like all the showings for a big event. Strickland and Fluffy faced off one time at the ceremonials, which isn't a negative, but it's just to say, like, of course, the Ryan Garcia fight was more popular on the night. It's not to say Sean's a lesser star. It's just the events were, you know, one was a championship event, the other one wasn't. That is the story about Dana White and Gina Carano. I just really needed to get this one off my chest, though. Not even giving a fuck whether, I mean, I doubt people care about this woman's shit, right? But and neither do I. But I just had to get it off my chest for the one time. For the one time, I had to get this one off my chest. It just needed to be said. I don't know for a fact, you know, what it was, whether Dana fumbled it, whether he didn't fumble it. But it seems like you guys are saying Dana didn't fumble it, Dana let it go. And if that's the case, thank God Almighty Dana let that shit go. Because if he really wanted it and he fumbled it, I mean, I should slap the fuck out of him. Being sarcastic, of course. But someone needs to slap the sense into him. If he really thought that this was going to be what he could sell us. I'm just saying, I mean, I can't believe, I mean, I think it does offend some of you guys, and maybe you just are in the chat, so you can't be as vocal. But I personally find it so offensive that they try to sell this stuff to us. I personally find it super offensive. I find it like insulting to our intelligence. And I was going to mention this little caveat too. If Dana did fumble it, yes, he deserves to be slapped, but you know, he's a bit of a promoter. You know, sometimes these promoters, they will think that they have this formula, that they know more than the fans, and they're inclined to do something like this. Okay? But the reason why I was so hard on Ariel about this is because Ariel is like me. You know, we speak for the greater majority. You know, we don't speak on behalf of the UFC and like a freaking promoter behind the scenes type of thing. I mean, we do, but we keep it down the middle. It's a very fine line that we tote. You know, we toe the line of the UFC business, but we also toe the line of the fan interest, right? And Ariel, to go ahead and co-sign that, it just really shows that like he's more on the side of being like an elitist like Dana White. You know, and if not, it's not negative that Dana has to be an elitist. It's a part of the job. You know, he's the president of the UFC. He has to be an elitist a bit. He has to throw it in the fans' faces at times. You know, the same thing that happened with the Jon Jones Stipe. You see what I'm trying to say? Dana was hell-bent on giving us a bullshit fight in Jon Jones versus Stipe. He thought that he knew more than the fans, right? Instead of giving the fans what they wanted. Now, Ariel, he was very vocal in saying we shouldn't do Jon Jones versus Stipe. You know, it should be Jon Jones versus Aspinall and all this stuff. Now, except for when the women's fight comes along, now Ariel's in favor. Now Ariel's on board. And it's okay if Dana has the elitist mentality to some degree because it comes with the job. But a guy like Ariel, to have an elitist mentality and to think that he's above the fans and that he shouldn't be speaking on behalf of the fans, that no one wants to see this fight, and he's trying to sell wolf tickets and gaslight fans into watching it, that's what I have an issue with. That's what I have a fucking issue with. Because how much money is he going to make off gaslighting fans into watching it? None. How much extra money could Dana make into gaslighting fans into watching it? Well, it's Dana's fucking business. So of course he's going to make money. It's his sales. Do you see the difference in what I'm trying to lay out here? Ariel has no business promoting fucking Ronda versus Gina and gaslighting fans into watching it. Dana low-key does a little bit. Like, quite literally, he has business gaslighting fans into watching it, because the more people he can convince to buy it, the more money he makes on the back end. Now, who knows the puppet master is controlling Ariel? I don't fucking know. They say it's the usual suspects, though, trying to gay out MMA. This is what I'm trying to talk about. You know, that's why Ariel's gaying out MMA. Because what does he have to gain from it other than to literally ruin the sport? Like, literally ruin the sport. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Ariel fucking trying to allege that Ronda versus Gina could potentially overshadow the White House card now if Ilya and Gaethje fucking headline it. The craziest take I ever heard in my damn life. Now, one of the final headlines, we will be talking about Sean Brady and Joaquin. I think that'll be a great place to end the stream, maybe, because you guys all know my relationship with Joaquin. I'm sure you guys got a lot of questions. I'm sure there's quite a few of you who are going to want to troll me and tell me that Sean Brady's going to beat Joaquin. Joaquin couldn't beat Usman. Once again, you guys are just assuming that fucking Brady would walk through Usman. I mean, the assumptions from the MMA fan base at times is crazy. You know, Usman, the GOAT of 170, the modern day GOAT. We all know GSP kind of the former GOAT. But as of this generation, you know, what the fans have seen, Usman's their GOAT. Just like Tobey Maguire, my Spider-Man. You feel me? So everyone's saying, oh, Buckley, you know, he got beat by Usman. What do you think Brady's going to do to him? Shit, I think Usman will beat the shit out of Brady too. So we'll get into this topic. That's a little teaser. But let's cover Ryan Garcia, Shakur real quick. Just a couple little headlines on this matter. True Silence says Buck got that on lock. I mean, Buck finna catch a body. Sean Brady, a.k.a. Dead Man Walking. He's saying his prayers as we speak. Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, after his win, he calls him out. I told you guys, I read you the quote. I'll read it again. You know who I want. He's right there. Shakur Stevenson, let's go. Let's run that shit. I want to be a great champion, and I'm not scared of shit. I fought Devin Haney. I'll fight Shakur Stevenson. I'll fight anybody. Ryan Garcia, after defeating Mario Barrios via unanimous decision to become the new WBC champion at 147 pounds. His first championship won as a pro right after he calls out Shakur in his ring interview. He gets asked about Shakur at the post-fight press conference, but before this, let's play this clip. Ryan and Shakur facing off backstage after the fight. Shakur, he definitely smaller than Ryan, but he's pointing out, you know, Ryan not as big as he thought. He goes, I thought you was bigger than this. So let's take a look at their little face-off.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, it's like back in the day, right? It's the biggest fight right here.
No, I thought you was bigger than this,
Bro, you know I'm not big. Wait, why do you think I was big?
God, oh man.
Wait, good luck. Thank you, bro.
Hey, Big Ryan winning that. You said what? Ryan's winning that.
You don't want to bet on it.
He's. Ryan's winning that. That's easy. Scooby snack.
That was good boxing.
You a boxer? Huh? You a boxer? Ryan's cousin.
Ryan's cousin. What you
do? Huh? I be boxing too. Yes, sir, my boy. Hey, nice to meet you, bro. Hey, congrats on that Canelo fight, bro. You did good, bro. Yes, sir, bro.
So Bud was about to get active with Oblivion. But, okay, let's play the press conference clips now. Ryan talking about Shakur, talking about Devin, who's next, who we want to run it with. Owen Mania, I'm going to get to your comment, buddy. I'm going to get to your comment, but Owen, I encourage you to have better takes than that unless you want to get walked down viciously. Owen, you know I love you, homie, but come on, we can have a little bit of a debate. And I might have to walk you down viciously for that take.
How serious are you about the Shakur fight, and do you want to unify with Devin now that you're the champion?
Oh, I'm open to all those, you know, whatever. You know, Shakur, somebody that I fought in the amateurs, and we went at it, you know, and I felt like I beat him. But, you know, the politics in the USA boxing at that time were a little different, and I still got a chip on my shoulder. I've been wanting that rematch for a minute. Hopefully we get it. And, you know, when my hand heals, I'll be looking for that opportunity for sure. And Devin, he don't want that. He's terrified. He has PTSD.
Devin calling for the fight, though.
The initial call.
Oh, that's right.
Look. If you seen I thought I posted on my story. Devin calling for the fight. Devin called for it. On IG, he called for it. He deleted it now. No wonder it's not on my story. I did post it on my story, but he deleted it. Yeah, Devin called out Ryan. Well, since homie's deleting posts, I'm not even gonna pull up his ex post. But the other post I wanted to show you, just of Ryan talking about Shakur. I'm just trying to show you guys some of the clips of this Shakur fight getting built up right now. Okay, so here's the other clip of Ryan kind of breaking down how a fight with Shakur would go. Why can't I pause this damn video, motherfucker?
Oh, I'm open to all those, whatever. Shakur, somebody that I fought in the amateurs, and
literally
we went at it,
pause this
and
video.
I felt like I beat him. But,
Okay, before we play this video, let me just read the quote. Ryan goes, Shakur knows he can't get lazy with me. He was looking at me and saying, oh, you're not even big. Bro, you were scared that I was big? I want that fight. There's always a way to win. So let's hear what Ryan got to say about it.
Fight, and do you want to unify? Hip Hop is Real, 2 questions. How serious are you about the Shakur fight, and do you want to unify with Devin now that you're the champion?
Oh, I'm open to all those, whatever. Shakur, somebody that I fought in the amateurs, and we went at it, and I felt like I beat him. But, the politics in the USA boxing at that time were a little different. And I still got a chip on my shoulder. I've been wanting that rematch for a minute. Hopefully we get it. And, when my hand heals, I'll be looking for that opportunity for sure. And Devin, he don't want that. He's terrified. He has PTSD. We're very fast. You're going to see people that are quick back and forth. And Shakur knows that he can't get lazy with me at all. That's why, he was looking at me right now and goes, ooh, you're not even big. I'm like, bro, you were scared if I was big? That's crazy. That's what you were scared of? All right. So I got a little glimpse on what he was kind of worried about. But size don't win fights at all. You seen that today. Mario was bigger than me. But I was quicker. And, but I want that fight. I feel like I'm always up to the challenge of anybody. There's always a way to win. Just got to figure it out.
AD says Garcia needs to fight more regularly, but got to say, dude, getting heads watching him. Yeah, I think he's been fighting once a year. Haney, that was once that year. Got suspended, returned against Rolly. 1 fight a year. He should be fighting a bit more. Maybe he turns it up now. And then one other clip. Speaking of the matchup, Shakur versus Ryan, building up the hype for it. Ryan's dad says that he knows the way to stop Shakur. To the body. And, Shakur's body was getting eaten up by Tio in their fight. Ryan's dad, I love Henry. Henry, one of my favorite fucking trainers in boxing. Gotta love Henry Garcia. He knows the method to beating Shakur. Let's play it.
Decision knockout. We'll hit him with a body shot. He's done.
We're going to run a body shot. He's done. He's done. The confidence in his son. This is going to be me. I'm going to be this confident in my son. This is how confident every father should be in their damn son right here.
Why the body shot? He can't take this body shot. We already know. Really? Yeah, and he doesn't have a better jab than my son. My son has an awesome jab. We beat him in the amateurs, okay, with the jabs. When Ryan was young, Ryan was only 16 years old. But he qualified 17, 18 with Shakur. Shakur was on that level. So if you're within 2 years, they're going to put you in that category. Okay, and I said, Ryan, we didn't know Shakur. They didn't know us. But I said, you know what, Ryan, let's work on that jab. Ryan was throwing that beautiful jab, pop, pop, pop. I said, okay, that's what we're gonna work on. Let's start off there. My God, wait, let me finish.
Decision knockout.
We'll hit him with a body.
So that's kind of the what the camp is saying right now about this Shakur Stevenson matchup. That's what the camp is saying. Now that we got all that stuff out the way, let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. Joaquin Buckley, Sean Brady booked. UFC Vegas 116. I want to see a poll on this one. This is what I want to see a poll on. This is what I want to see a poll on right now. Brady or Buck? Brady, Buck. Okay, vote up this poll. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this one. Before I get into this topic and or debate a little bit, everybody like the stream. If you haven't liked it yet, subscribe if you're not subscribed. This is pretty much the last topic of the day, but we are going to look over the Floyd Mayweather training footage just because I love it so much. And the guy's like 50 and he still trains better than like 90% of active fighters. Call me what you want to call me. But anyway, I want to address number one, Owen Mania. You know, I said a minute ago, Usman probably walks through Brady. Owen claps back. He says, Usman ain't beating the shit out of Brady, LMAO. Look what Brady did to Leon. Well, first off, Owen, MMA math. Let's start it off with this and say MMA math ain't shit. It don't work. Okay, that's number one, Owen. Number two, you're speaking about what Sean Brady did to Leon after losing his belt. Okay, removed from the Colby Covington fight as well. Removed from the Usman rematch. And that first fight. So we're talking the first fight with Usman, the Usman rematch, Colby Covington defense, losing to Bilal, then he fights Brady. We are not going to just ignore, you know, all the things that could have happened over the course of these 4 fights with Leon that dwindled him down to what he showed up as against Brady at UFC, London last year. So, yes, Brady beat Leon, but did Brady beat Leon? Did Brady beat 21 Leon, 2022, whatever year Leon won the belt? Since that's what you're equating to when you say, you know, Usman wouldn't beat Brady because Brady beat Leon. Brady did not beat Leon, who won the belt against Usman, homie. So we can't be getting that twisted. That's just a point blank period. Not much of a debate. I'm just telling you, you know, that whole MMA math thing. Just because Brady beat Leon does not guarantee Brady's going to beat Joaquin. Not whatsoever. Because Joaquin lost to Usman and Brady beat Leon. It's good MMA math, but that shit never works anyway. And this will be a classic example of how it doesn't work. Buck and Brandon are like chocolate milk. I guess we are a little bit, huh, America First? America First says, Shakur beating the brakes off of Ryan. I'm still calling him Duck for not calling out Rolly for a rematch. Honestly, all I can really say is Ryan will do better against Shakur than Tio did. Jew saying Brady doesn't have the best takedown entries. I mean, bro. Sean Brady couldn't even take down Bilal when they fought. Couldn't even take down Bilal when they fought. Another classic example of MMA math not working. Actually, I don't know about that example, but whatever. Couldn't take down Bilal when they fought. But he beat Leon, who lost to Bilal. They both lost to Bilal, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, just trying to map that out in my head. Sorry about that little side note. Brady doesn't have the best takedown entries. Like I said, he couldn't even take down Bilal. And who does Joaquin have training experience with? Bilal. We won't speak on how that went. Juice Man, all the boxers be lagging to fight. Tank versus Ryan literally took 6 to 7 years to make. Juice Man, what the hell are you talking about? Juice Man, you're low-key tripping a little bit. You can't put Ryan in that mix. I don't know what you're doing with that. Ryan versus Tank took 6 to 7 years to make. Ryan hasn't even really been a pro for 6 to 7 years, homie. What the hell are you saying? You wanted Ryan to run it with Tank when he was like 18, bro? Ryan's 27. He fought Tank. I don't even know what year, because BoxRec fucking sucks. Ryan's 27. He fought Tank in 2023, April of 2023. It's basically been 3 years. Okay, 2 years and 10 months. He was 24 when he fought Tank. I mean, I guess you could say they delayed it for 6 years if you say he should have debuted against Tank. But, I mean, when he fought Tank, he was 6 years into his career. 7 years. Started in 16, fought Tank in 23. So I think we had to just let Juice Man know that real quick. You know, Ryan does not deserve. And Ryan versus Devin, what was the holdup? There was no holdup on that. They ran it, you know, when it was due. Ryan didn't get his first big fight until like, honestly, Fonseca was Ryan's first big fight in 2020. Until Fonseca, there were all these junior titles and all these little things. That's why it says he won a belt, but this technically is his first time becoming champion. An actual WBC belt. What up, John Dong? What up, HT? Brady and Buck doesn't sound interesting. Give Buck a big fight. I know. I think that they just hate Brady. Franklin, I think they just hate Brady. They're trying to get rid of Brady. Garcia should rematch Rolly first. I know a lot of you guys want to see that. I don't know why. Like, you guys just want to see Ryan lose again? Or like, why do you think Ryan needs to rematch Rolly? You think he would beat him? AD, please answer that. I know MVP is moving down, but if he was still at middleweight, how do you think him versus Strickland would go? Strickland would kill MVP, bro. John Dong Strickland would kill MVP. He'd absolutely kill MVP. You know, I was gonna try to talk about Joaquin versus Brady, but everyone wants to keep talking about Ryan versus Ryan just in general, which is fine. Is Tank ever coming back to boxing? Will he ever get over the label of woman beater? Another Dana. Honestly, I'm sure Tank will come back, but I'm not holding my breath. You know, I'm not holding my breath, meaning like, you know, just come back when you want to come back, homie. We'll still be here. When you get your shit together, we'll still be here. Okay, since nobody really wants to, I mean, honestly, this fight got barely any engagement on social media either. It kind of shows that the fans didn't care about this fight. It barely got any engagement on social media. Let's see for Joaquin how many let's see for Joaquin how much engagement he got on his post Out of curiosity, just to see like how much his fans are like excited for it. They're not really. They're not really. 15K likes, but only 200 comments. $15K likes, only 200 comments. $131K views. That's all right. What are the fans saying?
What up, y'all?
Please lock in on the ground game. Let's go. Absolutely spectacular. You've got a lot of great opportunities to look forward to. Life savings on Buck. From Walgreens to the big leagues. Let's go, Buck. Let's go. Time to get to work. Such a good idea. Buckley needs to prove his grappling after discovering it in the 5th round. I think Buckley wins so long as his takedown defense is there. Let's go, Buck. That's all I need to hear. Let's go, Buck. Don't forget, Joaquin has takedown defense, and he did have it in the 5th round against Usman. Arguably the most important round to have it. You know? People think that he just got washed. He just didn't show up. Bad performance. Sometimes it happens. That ain't an excuse. He's just saying, you know, I performed poorly. I'm better than that. Let me show you. He wanted a Russian. They gave him Sean Brady. 80 says, I don't know if Garcia could win the rematch, but if he wins, he will elevate his status to a bigger fight. But why are you so hell-bent in throwing him into a fight that he lost? That's honestly my biggest question, too. AD, if you could answer that one. Why are you hell-bent in putting... You think Rolly's the only name that'll elevate him, or what? Honestly, I just have a hard time understanding that one. And AD, you're not the only one. A lot of people are asking for Garcia versus Rolly, so maybe there's something I'm missing. That's why I'm asking the question. Strickland versus Prime Silva. Who wins that? Damn, John Dong. I'm going to pick Strickland, John Dong. Call me crazy. See, Jew's another one. See, so there's something I'm missing. Something I'm missing with this Ryan Rolly fight. Everyone wants to see it but me. He got to attempt to be the best. So it's a little bit of you guys thinking that Ryan is the best boxer currently. It's a little bit of you guys thinking that and wanting him to prove it. That's why you guys don't really care for the Devin Haney rematch, because you've seen it. You've seen the result of that. Now AD says, Jacob, you're right. Maybe Rolly is not a good match for Garcia. I mean, if I could just call it down the middle about how I feel about Ryan versus Rolly, you guys see the upside. You know, Juice says you got to attempt to be the best. AD says, you know, it could really elevate Ryan. But honestly, I would sidestep that. That's too big of a risk. I'm just keeping it a buck. This is no like glaze on anybody. I mean, I'm actually big up in Rolly by saying this. But if I was Ryan in the camp, I would sidestep that. I think that's way too big of a risk. A loss, let me put it like this too. A loss to Rolly outweighs what a win could do for him. A loss to Rolly, in my opinion, would outweigh the benefits of a win. I miss Garcia fight. How'd he look? He looked amazing, Franklin. He looked very good out there. Like, super good. Basically, back to his old self like when he fought against Devin Haney. He looked just like that. Whatever happened to MVP? He had good build-up, good hype. I think UFC was hoping he would lose, throw him in the mix. MVP kind of like a afterthought, isn't he now? America. Couple years into the UFC, now he's an afterthought. Franklin says he was too humble in that fight versus Usman. Had a little bit of learning to do. If even, don't be so nice to your opponent, no matter who it is. Franklin, solid point. Solid point right there. Solid point. And I think it's a mix of that. I think it's a mix of because Joaquin says he lost to Usman because of arrogance. Right? But I do see what you're saying where Joaquin, there was an aspect of, you know, him looking up to Usman for so long that played out a little bit in that fight. I think. He hasn't really admitted it, but that's just a hunch I have. So there is a humbleness or respect he had for Usman that he should have probably not carried into the fight. Subconsciously, it took over, though, and now he learned that lesson. But what Joaquin also admitted to me in one of our interviews is that he underestimated Usman. You know, he believed the narratives that his knees were bad, that he sucks, and he didn't really prepare for Usman how he should have. And so I think it was both of those, Mr. Franklin. Do you think Strickland would finish Prime Whitaker in 2016 Romero? I want to say, yeah. I think Strickland's a better fighter than Whitaker and Romero. John Dong. Whitaker doesn't have takedowns, you know. America First says, the reason why I want to see Ryan versus Rolly is simple because I'm old school, avenge your L, then move on. All the great boxers did that. Okay. You know, honestly, it would be pretty dope. It would be dope if Ryan did avenge the L. It would be dope. America First low-key sold me when he said all the great boxers did that. Avenge your L, then move on. I mean, you kind of sold me with that. You did kind of sell me with that. See, I'm like real simple. I'm real simple. You can, if you give it to me in terms of like that, like I'm old school. Avenge your L, then move on. All the great boxers did it. Shit, say less. Book that shit. You know? Low-key America sold me on that one. If Garcia doesn't avenge his L to Rolly, it's like Canelo retiring, never fighting Benavidez. Oof. Oof, that's how you guys see it. Fair enough, though. See, I think I like Ryan too much. I like Ryan too much. I care too much about the success of his career. That's why I'm okay with him not fighting Rolly. But I actually don't like Canelo on the level of how I am a fan of Ryan. So I do look at Canelo like, damn, you ducked Benavidez. You know, but it's also because I think Benavidez would have beat him and I like Benavidez. So I totally get what you're saying, America First. And I'm trying to say that I probably would agree with you if I wasn't such a big fan of Ryan. But, you know, I'll just say you're right and that I'm a little bit biased in that. Romero was a beast. He was a beast. He knocked the fuck out of Chris Weidman with that knee. Ryan will always have that mark on his record, at least to his fans. Yeah. But, you know, credit to Rolly. You know, credit to Rolly. Again, is it a bit of disrespect to Rolly? Maybe. Maybe it's a bit of disrespect to Rolly. Being like, how did he beat him? Saxby says, I believe now Conor will fight out his last fight in the White House. Why, Saxby? I see there's a little bit of Conor McGregor conversation going on after UFC Houston. Him saying, you know, sign the contract. But honestly, it's just too much honey dicking with Conor. Like, I'm tapped out. I'm expired on like the whole Conor McGregor return. Just tell me when the fight's signed and booked and who the opponent is. Other than that, I can't keep it up with it with all this speculation. Now the speculation is he's going to fight out his last deal. It's probably a fair speculation. But I'm just saying, forgive me for not knowing. Forgive me for not knowing. America First saying, Ryan Garcia looked good because he had the right opponent. I bet you he will struggle against Tio and definitely against Shakur. Tio, I don't think so, America First. I'll disagree with you about Tio. Shakur, the jury's out, but I think Ryan will perform better than Tio did. I think Ryan will perform better against Shakur than Tio did, and I think Ryan would actually beat Tio. Why don't we book that? Why don't we book Ryan versus Tio? Tio said he needs to move up. Tio said he needs to move up. Now, letting Tio contend for a belt after coming off a loss is going to be the same thing you guys are yelling at Ryan for. But Tio is a big star, and it could warrant it. It could definitely warrant a title shot just his star power alone. But I'll agree and disagree with you on that one, America First. Ryan beats Tio. He might have some struggles against Shakur, but I still think he'll do better than Tio did against Shakur. Franklin, I love the comment. He's saying, Buck still has stuff to prove, but I want to see. Usman had to have leveled him up. Definitely, he got the rub from Usman. Definitely. And don't mind the Buck ain't worth a buck comment from America First. America First is trolling me as always. Shout out America First. Franklin goes, wow, I don't even watch boxing, but Ryan Tio sounds dope as fuck. Honestly, it does. How come we haven't even thought of that? Ryan Tio just lost to Shakur. They could return on the same timeline because Shakur just fought a few weeks ago. And like I mentioned, Tio said he's moving up divisions. What's the next division up? 147. Let Shakur defend his title at 140. Okay, Saxby's take on Conor McGregor fighting out his last fight on his deal. Conor wants to be able to make a couple $100 million after UFC, and Conor is making business with Trump's team. Conor is invested in Podix's and wants his crime to disappear. Trump team told Conor to fight in White House. How the fuck does that mean he's going to fight out his last fight? God damn it, Saxby. That wasn't a good explanation. I thought you were going to say something like he wants to sign to BKFC. Or there was something that he tweeted that was telling. But no. But no. All right, shout out to everybody who watched the stream. Ow, I think I got a pimple on the back of my head. I just scratched it. Or something hurts that I just scratched on my head. Did you guys see this boxer pass out?
In the corner, seemingly all right.
Look, homie passed out in his corner. Take a look at this.
All right, we're going to take a look back at what happened. And it's just a warning. Obviously, these are troubling scenes that you may see here. There was a headbutt there. Yeah, and the head clash that caused the initial fall. And there you see George in the corner, seemingly all right in that moment. Just like that.
Boom. Knocked out in his own corner, just sitting there.
It seemed like it was a delayed reaction to the clash of heads before that slip. And you see Oberlton realizing what's going on. Confusion and then immediate concern. That's not the way you want to win a boxing contest. No, of course. And Oberlton is now in a difficult position where, you know, all right, we're going to take a look back at what happened. And it's just a
They're saying it was from a headbutt, a delayed knockout from a headbutt.
warning. Obviously, these are troubling scenes that you may
Boom.
see here. There was a headbutt there. A warning. Obviously, these are troubling scenes that you may see here. There was a headbutt there. Yeah, and
It did land on the crown of his head.
the head clash that
Franklin says LMAO. I could be wrong, but Garcia and Tio I think are both Leos. What would that mean if they're both Leos, Franklin? What would that mean? What would be the astronomical significance of that? Speaking of star signs. I'm about to get off here though, so shout out to all you guys. If you have any questions or anything, then I can answer a couple questions before I get off. But if not, that'll probably be it. I'm dying of hunger over here. I mean, that's a normal occurrence. I'm pretty much always hungry. But yeah. I'm dying of hunger. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go eat a little bit. What am I going to eat? Well, I've been getting away from the protein pancakes as of late. I know you guys have been hearing me hyping up those protein pancakes. And they're good. They're good, but sometimes they're just not as satisfying. Honestly, sometimes a bowl of fucking oatmeal and like a couple scrambled eggs is more satisfying. I don't know why. But I've been finding the oatmeal and scrambled eggs to be very satisfying. It's like when I eat those protein pancakes, it feels like I'm eating air. Like I just ate a bunch of macronutrients, meaning like it's high in protein and it's like decently high in carbs. And I'm like just starving after I eat it. And if I eat oatmeal and eggs, shit, I ain't starving after I eat it. Or if I eat some like potatoes and some chicken, I ain't starving after I eat it. But yeah, I think those protein pancakes, I don't know. They're okay, but it's not going to be my daily go-to because it kind of like, it's a lot of macronutrients and not enough fillingness. So what I'm gonna eat after this, I'm gonna probably eat some honestly probably some oatmeal and some eggs and some chicken and then call it a night. That'll be the plan. But shout out to everybody who tuned into the stream. I'm gonna shout out the streets right now. Shout out to refried beans. Honestly, beans are pretty good too. It's my new dish. Yeah, I fuck with the fat-free refried beans from Trader Joe's. Those are fucking fire. I got a potato pancake. Maybe I'll make a Space Kid just popping in. Shit. Now it makes me want to stay longer. What up, Space Kid? The stream's over, homie. But I was just talking about what I'm going to eat since I'm always starving. I could make I could make a potato pancake. Those are a bit better. You get those from the Asian stores. A little potato pancake type thing. Fry it up in the pan. Maybe put some egg, cheese, and some chicken on there. One of the two. Maybe I'll have both. All right, now I'm just ranting about food. But I will see you guys tomorrow. We got Brandon Moreno fight week, so we'll discuss that. We will discuss the Brandon Moreno fight week. We got Armand versus Giorgio, so we'll take a look at that. A little RAF match coming up this week. So we got a couple matches coming up this week. And then, you know, it's UFC 326, Holloway versus Oliveira. So get ready. Get ready. Couple weeks, and Holloway Oliveira is here. Joaquin will be on live stream for the fight companion on that. Space Kid says, wow, are you serious? I know, homie. Homie, you joined late, but I know you love the 11 p.m. streams. So this is about the time you join. Yeah, we went live at like 8:30, Space Kid. It was a decent stream, though. I think if you go back and watch it, you should enjoy it. Otto says, see ya, man. It was a great stream. Oh, it was great later W stream. Peace out, Otto. Good to see you, homie. And Otto, hopefully the gym gains are still coming your way. Food rants are great. Okay, I'm glad you guys like them. I make them myself with pinto beans, Instapot with half pack of bacon, fire. Oh, that does sound fire. Buyer seller, that does sound fire. A little brown sugar in there too. Buyer seller or what? That sounds super fire with some brown sugar. But I will tell you guys, I'll tell you guys another good, these late night streams are the best. Well, thank you, Franklin. I'm going to keep giving you guys these streams. I'm going to keep giving you guys these streams every night, per usual. But the last thing I'll say, this is actually probably my favorite dessert right now. I'm going to lay it out for you like this. I'm going to give you guys a recipe. I'm going to straight give you guys a recipe right now. All right. This is like less than 500 calories too, which is crazy. 200 grams fat-free Greek yogurt. This is like if you stuck to your diet, if you stuck to your diet all day long, you got like less than 500 calories remaining in your, macros for the day. You hungry, you need one more meal to go to bed, you got a sweet tooth. This is what you make. Now, it's probably going to be something some of you guys have heard before, but I'm going to get into this recipe now. 200 grams fat-free Greek yogurt. 200 grams fat-free Greek yogurt. 25 grams honey. All right, we're going to go 50 grams sliced strawberries. We're going to go 50 grams frozen blueberries or regular blueberries. It doesn't really matter, but right now I got the frozen ones. The frozen ones you can buy from Trader Joe's, they're like mini blueberries, so you get a little bit more. Because if you get 50 grams of the fresh blueberries, they're like bigger. So it's like, you want like 10 big blueberries or you want like 30 mini blueberries, your choice. But 50 grams of blueberries, 50 grams of strawberries, one whole banana, whatever size banana, you can do whatever banana. Just chop up that whole banana, slices, put it in the yogurt, okay? The last thing you're going to put on that bitch to make it just tied in, the best sweet treat you ever had on a diet, I'm telling you. I mean, as long as you like Greek yogurt. But what's going to tie it all in, bro? 15 grams, which is one serving, of semi-sweet chocolate chips. 15 grams semi-sweet chocolate chips. Put it on top. Mix the whole thing up. That's the best healthy dessert you'll ever have in your life. And it'll quench the sweet tooth. It'll quench the sweet tooth before bed. That's my favorite dessert. If I got enough calories saved up, I'm going to make that tonight. But I do got a lot of calories I can eat right now. I've only had you guys want to know what I've ran on the day? I always like running my stats to you guys. These are the stats I'm currently running right now. I've only had 845 calories on the day, which comes out to 76 grams of carbs obviously. 28 grams of fat, 65 grams of protein, 9 grams of fiber. That's a pretty balanced diet right there. That's a pretty balanced diet. 65 grams protein, 76 grams carbs, 28 fat, 9 fiber. You ever mess with the Carb Smart ice cream? Jew, that's actually a great question, bro. That's actually a great question. I tried it. Like, I tried the Halo Top ice cream, but like, bro, it doesn't do anything for me. I eat the whole pint of Halo Top ice cream, Jew, and I go eat a fucking meal after it. And you know why? It's because it's carb free. It's because it's all sugar alcohols and shit. It's just running right through you. Honestly, Jew, I told you guys in the past, right? On stream, I was like, I got a Halo Top pint. I'm ready to eat. That's one of the only days I broke my fucking diet because I ate the whole Halo Top. And that was like the only macros I had left in the day was the Halo Top. It was my sweet treat to end the day. But bro, it's like I ate nothing. I don't like that shit. It's like got too much sugar. Alcohol is kind of like fiber. If you guys don't know this, fiber doesn't really count as a calorie. So a lot of these keto friendly things, because keto is no carb, right? If you get keto bread, it's mostly all fiber, which makes it zero carb bread because it's made out of all fiber instead of, whole grains. And fiber is appealing because it's 0 calories essentially. It just runs right through you. So you can eat it and it's kind of like a guilt-free thing. That's why the only macros you track are proteins, carbs, and fats. Fiber is more to help you like regulate, take your shits and stuff. What am I getting to though? There's another one of these whatever you call it. There's another one of these 0 calorie macronutrients. It's called sugar alcohol. Okay, because sugar is carb, right? Sugar is carb, but sugar is zero carb. So sugar alcohols too and fiber, those are like fuck those things, bro. Honestly, fuck sugar alcohols and fuck fiber. Those things do not fill you up. That's going to set you back on your diet in my opinion. It has for me. It honestly has for me. Just keeping it a buck there. I don't know why, but yeah, it definitely fucked me up. I don't fuck with the Halo Top after I ate that 1 pint. So, Jew, sorry if you wanted a Carb Smart ice cream and I just shat on your parade. But I'm just telling you, I didn't have very much good control when I ate that Carb Smart ice cream. I didn't have very much control at all. Honestly, I think you'd be better off eating like a sorbet, Jew. It's just sugar and water, you know, like fruit sugar and water. I think you'd be better off eating sorbet. That's kind of in the middle. Between regular ice cream and Carb Smart ice cream, sorbet's in the middle. Halo Top mukbang on stream, Castro. LOL, I'm eating it right now. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. I mean, I definitely didn't feel full or satiated. Same thing happens when I eat protein bars, bro. Because protein bars, they also have these sugar alcohols. I got like these Reese's peanut butter cup protein bars. And yeah, when I eat it, I'm still hungry as fuck. I usually eat a bit before bed and I feel good, but I need to get back to my Okios yogurt. Well, honestly, if it works for you, Jew, then it works for you. Don't let me knock it. Please don't let me knock it. You know, if it works for you, it works for you. Like, I doubt people would feel good off of eating eggs and oatmeal, but for some odd reason, I do. So, it's not the worst thing in the world, the Carb Smart options. I'd rather run a Ben & Jerry's mukbang on the stream. Eat half a sweet potato in the morning and it will help you push out all the crap you eat throughout the day. I eat about a sweet potato a day. Franklin says he could never do vegan. Franklin says, even the beer is just to recover from food. Yeah, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. LMAO. That's crazy. Homie fucking recovers from food by drinking beer. Franklin, no, he crazy, though. Mango sorbet is fire. Yeah. Drink Premier Protein shakes. Those are fire. Those are fire. You got to give it up to the Premier Protein shakes. If you ever try to Ensure, it kind of tastes like that. All right, boys, but I'll get off now. Glad to have a good little a little discussion about the food. And oddly enough, this is peak viewership. Peak viewership is talking about crazy shit like fiber and sugar alcohols. How the fuck is peak viewership me talking about fiber and sugar alcohols? Oh, literally, this is peak viewership. Skinny Cow is decent. Honestly, I prefer Skinny Cow. All right, guys, I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I had a decent stream. Well, it was a great stream. I had a great stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go eat now. All right, peace out, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, everybody. Night, Brandon. Say hello to Buck, not Buck. Peace, Juice Man. Peace out, Buyer Seller. Peace out, Franklin. Peace out, America First. Peace out, Space Kid. Peace out, Cupcake saying peak conversations. I guess they're peak. Peace out, our boy Kevin from Chicago. Hopefully, homie's recovering from slipping on the stairs. Peace out to Jew. Peace out, Ruby Z. Peace out to Otto, my man Otto. Oh, Otto says, yeah, still go to the gym, still try my best. My man Otto. Good shit, homie. Very proud of you. And everyone else trying their best. That's all we can do. We try our best every day. John Dong, peace out, homie. Peace out to Saxby. Peace out to AD Kid, if I didn't already say that one. Dylan was in the chat, so peace out to Dylan. I saw him in here. I saw Perfecto to kick it off, so peace out, Perfecto. HT, peace out, HT. Peace out to True Silence. All the people in the streets, everybody in the streets, all the members. Jews, the member. Kevin from Chicago is a member, so special shout out to all of our members. You guys get the exclusive Adrian Lee interview dropping tomorrow, members only. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. Stuart, shout out to Stuart for dropping in for a little bit. Tony Sal, much love to Tony Sal always. Chris Alpha, popping in. Gravy, popping in. Thinking Again, popping in. Yeah, we had a solid stream. Everyone came through. Good to see everyone came through. I keep tabs on all you motherfuckers. Lift and Inspire as well. Luis said something like, if Leon takes that fight with Euros, he's going to get put in a coma. Damn, now we're talking about Leon Edwards versus Euros Medic. Book it, why not? Shout out to Tuxedo for the donos. Thank you, Tuxedo. Shout out to James Steele for tuning in. All right, we not done. We giving everybody their shout outs. Dun Daughter. Shout out to Dun Daughter as well for tuning in. And that'll conclude it. I think it was solid that we gave a shout to Dun Daughter to end it. All right, peace out, everybody. I will see you tomorrow.